Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ainsley and I'm a real estate agent here in Victoria, BC. And today we're going to be talking about living in the city of Victoria versus living out in the West Shore and which area may be more suitable for you to buy a house. Now, a lot of people have to deliberate over this when it comes time for them to purchase a property. The number one reason being because your money will go so much further out in the West Shore. But at the end of the day, it comes down to which area will suit your lifestyle more and what compromises you're willing to make. So stay tuned for the lowdown on both locations, and by the end of this video, you should be able to make an informed decision about which area will suit you best.
Located just off the coast of Vancouver, in Canada's westernmost province of British Columbia, is Vancouver Island, known simply as the Island by locals. Almost half of its 870,000 plus residents live in the metropolitan area of Greater Victoria. Not only does Greater Victoria include the bustling city of Victoria itself, but it also encapsulates the western municipalities, which are collectively known as the Western Communities or the West Shore. The difference in landscape and lifestyle between Victoria and the West Shore make for a diverse and exciting place to live. However, it also poses an interesting question for people planning to move here permanently. Where should you buy a house? In Victoria or the West Shore? First up, let's head to the city of Victoria. Named after Queen Victoria, this city is one of the oldest in the Pacific Northwest. British colonies settled here in 1843, and since then it has risen to become the capital of British Columbia and a place renowned for its rich history and incredible architecture. Don't be fooled though, this is not just a place to take in the amazing views. With the current population of over 85,000, it has become a popular destination for people of all ages and ambitions. In fact, this 7.52 square mile city is the 7th most densely populated in Canada. In November this year, Monocle magazine ranked Victoria 5th on their annual list of top small cities in the world. Vic, as locals sometimes call it, scored highly for its diverse economy, strong transportation links to the mainland, and proximity to the oceans and parks, which makes it popular with boat enthusiasts. But why move to Victoria? Well, many choose to head here to bask in the best climate in Canada and to enjoy the relaxed pace compared to other cities. Victoria offers a diverse culture, a high standard of living, competitive wages, and beautiful scenery. Victoria is one of the best places to live, work, and retire.
So what are the pros and cons to living in the city or at least near the city versus living out in the West Shore? Well, living in the city obviously allows you to be closer to the downtown area, which has more options for entertainment and restaurants. At the moment, there isn't as much going on, but hopefully as we move into next fall, things should pick up a little bit. Also, Victoria is super walkable, got good transportation, lots of bike lanes, so you may not require a car being in Victoria, versus being out in the West Shore, most of those areas you would require a car, and a lot of families actually need 2 cars to kind of get by. There's also a nice diversity of neighborhoods within the city that are not cookie cutter like they tend to be out in the West Shore. So both within the city and the immediate surrounding areas, there's some really established neighborhoods like Fairfield, James Bay, Oak Bay, Fernwood that are really established and have a lot of character. Another positive is that if you purchase a home in a good location within the city, it is likely to hold its value as well as appreciate over time. So some cons to living in the city of Victoria. Although there are not many, I absolutely love living in the city. I live downtown at the moment. But the main con is that it absolutely costs you a premium to be in a good central location. So one of the only other cons that kind of really seems top of mind is that if you're buying a home within the city of Victoria or immediate surrounding areas, is chances are it's going to be an older home. And this is going to require a lot more maintenance than many of the newer homes that are out in the West Shore. So you're possibly asking yourself, how much does it cost to buy a home in the city of Victoria? Well, this is going to vary from neighborhood to neighborhood a little bit. Overall, benchmark prices for the city of Victoria for December 2020 sat at $885,000. Now this is up approximately 6.7% since the same time as the previous year. So contributing factors to this is that last year, because it's now January 2021, so last year we saw very low levels of inventory paired with very high demand, which puts pressure on pricing and therefore pricing goes up.
People often refer to Victoria as a small big city, since it manages to compete with several of its larger counterparts when it comes to economy and infrastructure. Having a strong focus on technology makes the city more appealing as a place to live, work, and grow in the near future too.
So next up, we're gonna head out to the Westshore.
The Westshore is made up of a number of residential communities, including the area of Colwood, Langford, Highlands, View Royal, and Metchosin. The amount of real estate here has expanded rapidly over the past 3 decades, to the extent that the development can be tracked and seen clearly by satellites in space. Although there has been a significant increase in housing, there is still a close connection to nature in these suburbs. Connecting much of the Westshore is the Galloping Goose Trail, a 34-mile-long path that weaves its way through picturesque landscape and passes by old relics. While passing through Langford, you'll see nature at its finest, with 3 majestic lakes, plus there's Mount Finlayson, Mount Wells, and Goldstream Provincial Park.
So when thinking about moving out to the Westshore, you're obviously going to consider your lifestyle, the cost of living, but one of the other things you really want to think about is transportation, especially if you're going to be commuting into the city of Victoria for work each day, which chances are you may be, because the opportunities in Victoria are largely to thank for the expansion in the surrounding areas. This commute out to the Westshore has in previous years been nicknamed the Colwood Crawl. However, commuting has improved recently with the addition of the Mackenzie Overpass. This is estimated to have saved travelers approximately 20 minutes time commuting each way. Another option you have if you're living out in the Westshore is the Galloping Goose Trail. So a lot of Westshore residents will actually bike to and from work. It's approximately a 30-kilometer round trip, and a lot of people see the exercise as an added incentive. So how do home prices out in the Westshore compare to home prices in the city of Victoria? Well, the benchmark price for a single-family home out in the Westshore for December 2020 sat at around $728,000. This is approximately 18% less than the benchmark prices for a single-family home in the city of Victoria. Now, it's also important to note that these home prices have gone up approximately 13% in the last year. So this is a really strong indication that although there is so much development and so much expansion happening out in the Westshore, that the demand remains very, very strong.
In modern times, the neighborhoods both in and outside of the city are considered to be very safe. As is the norm, you're likely to get more space if you opt to live in the suburbs, but there aren't as many options to choose from when it comes to shops and restaurants. You'll still see major chains like McDonald's, Starbucks, and Costco in the Westshore, but there aren't so many of the small independent stores in these communities. Bear Mountain, considered to be one of Langford's most luxurious neighborhoods, and also where you can find a golf course designed by Jack Nicklaus, is growing towards becoming a sustainable community. New amenities are introduced each year as the development expands its variety of homes, townhouses, and condos. Here, premier luxury homes terrace the mountainside, many with panoramic vistas. Meanwhile, Colwood has just approved an expansion plan for Royal Bay. Up to 2,100 new homes and a commercial center are scheduled to be built at the former gravel pit. Real estate developer Gablecraft Homes intends to build an 80,000 square foot retail village there too, with a grocery store, other shops, and services. In other news, there is discussion of a ferry service to be made available to downtown Victoria, similar to that of the C-Bus which runs between Vancouver and North Vancouver. However, it doesn't seem as it will get approved anytime soon, since the proposed journey would be 3 times as long and as a result would be much more costly. All is not lost though, as work on highway infrastructure is set to continue. This means more bus lanes and roads, bridges, and interchanges to be built. Pedestrians, cyclists, and wheelchair users are at the forefront of consideration as the province looks to support clean air initiatives. This also means that there will be more charging stations for electric vehicles, plus more bike lockers and park and ride stalls.
So as you can see, both the City of Victoria and the Westshore can be great places to buy a house and build a future. But overall, the Westshore tends to be more popular with young families that have children and are looking to buy a newer home with more square footage for less money than it would cost them to buy in the city. With more people working from home these days and so many more people looking to move out to Vancouver Island, I believe the demand for these single-family homes in these suburban areas is going to remain high in the near future. So I hope you found that information helpful. If you did, it would be amazing if you could take a second to leave me a like or subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. And if you're planning a move either to Victoria or possibly within the Victoria area, I would love to hear from you. You can get in touch with me via my website at ainsleygower.com, and I hope you have a great day.